Oh, hello, hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it's your first time here. For those of you who have not seen on my social medias, I have been sick. I came down with the cold or the flu or the plague, who knows, alright? I still have a bit difficulty breathing, so if you hear me breathing all Darth Vader like, just ignore it. Pretend you don't hear it. I did use my sick time, my bedridden time, to watch the series Lost for the very first time. And to say that I'm invested would be an understatement, alright? I don't do things half-arsed. If I find something I like, I hyperfixate to the point of insanity. If you don't believe me, I spent the whole of yesterday trying to get my printer to work so that I can make little popsicle mans of every character, so that we can today talk about the pilot episode of Lost. Yes, I did that. Also, getting a printer to work, one should be required to have a degree to do that. It was so difficult. It kept saying things like your nozzles are very, very dirty, you dirty girl. Clean your head. And I'm like, I don't know what you're asking of me. Anyway, I did manage to get my printer to print. I'm very proud. I did it all by myself. And today we are going to be discussing the pilot episode of Lost. I have so many things to say, and we are going to go through it together. I just want to also mention that this took me forever, alright, with the popsicle men, getting the printer to work, watching the series over and over and over again to get all my thoughts on paper. It took a hot minute. So, if you don't mind, like this video, comment down below, subscribe, share this video with a friend. Only if you want to, I'm not the boss of you. Alright, let me catch my breath and then we're jumping in to episode 1, the pilot of Lost. Action. Alright, let's get into the pilot episode. The very first shot, the first thing we see is this man's eyeball. And he opens his eye and we see his pupil going all small. Okay? I don't know what that's called. Is it your pupil dilating? Or is dilating when your pupil goes bigger? I don't know. Either way, his pupil went small. And I'm wondering how they do this. How do they direct and film this? Do they put the camera in the guy's face and say, okay, action? And then when he opens his eyes, they shine a light into it. I don't know.
Magic.
I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. We then get an upside down shot of the trees up above. So it would be like out of his point of view where he's laying like so on the grass. And then you see the trees from here. You know what I'm saying? He is in the forest, in like a bamboo field or something. We don't know how he got there. He looks like he just came home from like a Mursha bar fight in Boksburg. He is scratched up. He looks disoriented. Also, he's wearing a suit. At this point, he's trying to get his bearings, but he hears a sound, like rustling. Every day I'm rustling. Rustling. He hears the branches cracking or whatever, and he looks over and he sees the goodest of boys. This boy. He sees him just standing there. A golden retriever. I hear later on that no, it's a Labrador, not a golden retriever. But what's the difference? Is it the same thing? Is there a difference in size and fluffiness? I don't know. Either way, he's adorable. He was standing there, he was lying there, he then ran over his face and ran away. That is when we met this good boy. Alright, so Mr. Good Boy runs off and this man is trying to get up. He's having a hard time of it. He is all in pain and such. But he does get up. And as he gets up, he takes a small bottle of alcohol out of his pocket. How did that get there? We don't know. But he puts it back into his pocket and he starts running through this forest bamboo business. He runs past a tree, and inside of this tree is a white tacky. This is very weird. Where did the tacky come from? Anyway, so he keeps running through the forest and he then exits the forest. And as he exits the forest, we see this. Gorgeous, beautiful beach. So scenic. Alright, watching that, seeing that visual, what would you expect to be hearing? Crashing of waves, rustling of palm trees in the light wind, birds chirping. No, we don't hear any of that. This is what we hear. And then he runs onto this beach and then this is what we see. That is a fucking plane crash. Alright, the next time someone asks me, why are you afraid of flying? What are you afraid of? This. Oh, it's just a story. We all know this is basically a documentary. Alright, that looks fucking scary. So this man is walking on the street, okay? He's disoriented, he's overwhelmed, rightfully so. Everyone is yelling for help. He does not know where to focus his aandag on top of. Okay, there's like wreckage everywhere, pieces of plane. You see this thing. What is it called? A turbine, a propeller, a spinny thing. Whatever, we see this thing and it's still spinning. We see this guy looking all shocked and confused. He's standing there like, but the. And then we see this man yelling at someone, I don't know who. We then see this man going, what? And then we see this lady, she's just standing screaming. Then we see this, the airplane shot, or what used to be an airplane. This is my biggest fucking fear, guys. Don't even get me started. We hear a man saying, help! And then we see a man with his leg stuck under a piece of airplane, okay? Mr. Sir goes over, he's trying to get this plane off of this man's leg. This is when we learn that this man is in fact not Superman. Good to know. He can't manage to lift it on his own. He calls over a bunch of guys. They lift the plane off of the man's leg. And as they do, we get a shot of that man's leg and it's all sorts of fucked up. Bloody and such. This man takes off his tie and he ties it around the man's leg. I don't know why they do that. It's for some or other medical reason. I've seen it done on television before. I just can't remember what the reason is. But he did it. We then hear a woman screaming, help me, please help me. Mr. Sir looks over and he sees that it's this lady and she's all sorts of fucking pregnant, alright? She's very, very pregnant. So he tells the other people, listen, take the stressed man away from the plane, please. And then he goes over to help pregnant lady. We then see that it's Belle from Once Upon a Time.
I think you broke it.
What is she doing here? Is it Rumpelstiltskin's baby? I have questions. Mr. Sir asks, how many months pregnant are you? She's like, eight months. He's like, okay. What? As this conversation is going on, he looks over and he sees Diamond Salvatore busy giving this lady CPR. Why isn't he just giving her vampire blood? That is the question. That is the real question. Anyway, he's giving her CPR. He's not doing a great job of it. He's still busy here with this lady, but he wants to go over and save that lady. He's like, listen, you are gonna be okay, alright? Just breathe. And then he calls over this man, who is tiny, from Once Upon a Time. Last I saw him, he was busy growing magic beans in Storybrooke. How did he get here? Did he use a magic bean to come here to airplane crash realm? Huh? I don't know, but what I do know is he doesn't seem to recognize Belle. Anyway, this guy tells this guy, alright, help this lady, get her away from the airplane fumes, okay? If her contractions are less than 3 minutes apart, call me, okay? Alright, thank you. At this point, we pan over back to the other guys who's busy helping the distressed guys to get the fucked up leg person away from the airplane. But then another man walks in front of the propeller thing and it sucks him up and the whole fucking thing explodes. That was a scary sight. Anyway, they go off, but before they do, he turns around and he yells, "What's your name?" And he goes, "It's Jack." So now we have our first name. It's Jack. Okay, so Jack goes over to Diamond Salvatore, who's busy giving CPR to Pink Shirt Lady. He's like, you are doing it wrong, okay? You are CPRing like your gut. Her head isn't far back enough, so you are CPR blowing air into her stomach. Diamond Salvatore is like, are you sure? I'm a lifeguard. I'm certified to do this. Jack is like, go ask for your money back. You're jaging kak aan. Diamond Salvatore is like, should we maybe do that thing where we press a pen into her neck? He's like, yes, alright, that's a great idea. Please go find me some pens. Diamond Salvatore is all eager to help and he runs off looking for pens. Now Jack can focus on properly doing CPR. He manages to revive the lady, but he barely managed to finish saving this woman before another fucking crisis hits, because as he looks over, tiny and pregnant Belle is about to be crushed by a piece of airplane that's busy falling. And Jack runs over and he's like, get her out of the way, move, move. And they pick up Belle and they run, and as they run, the plane falls behind them and there's another explosion. This is 7 minutes into the pilot and there's been 2 explosions. Alright, so now that most of the people are saved, Mr. Jack is walking through the chaos and the wreckage and he's just trying to catch his breath. He's trying to, breathe a bit. And at this point, Diamond Salvatore comes back and he's like, yeah, I found you a bunch of pens. I didn't know which one would work best. This is definitely like PKE. Pre-Catherine era. Because Diamond is still a sweetheart. He's so eager to help. Jack is like, I thank you for the pens. They will all work great. Thank you for your help. And it's just it's a sweet moment. Anyway, Mr. Jack goes and grabs in a suitcase. I don't know if it's his suitcase or if maybe he's just embracing his looting era, but he goes through the suitcase and he finds a naaldwerkstel, which for some reason isn't inside of a cookie tin. Weird. Anyway, he takes this needle and thread him and his needle and thread footsacks off into the forest. He breaks the tree line. He's over there. He takes off his shirt and we see a massive gash on his back on the side here, like so. He can't reach it to fix it. That is when this lady walks into frame. He's like, excuse me. She's like, He's like, have you ever used a naald and garing before? She's like, what? Have you ever patched a hole? She's like, I sewn some curtains before. Perfect. You will be my surgeon. Please come and fix my back. Will you please give me stitches? She's like, I don't want to. He's like, please. She's like, but I don't want to. He's like, please. She's like, okay. So she goes over. He takes out the small bottle of alcohol that he still has in his pocket, and they use it to clean her hands and clean his wound, and she starts to stitch him up. I could never. I'm getting the grille just thinking about it. Can you imagine giving someone snitches? Stitches get snitches. Snitches get stitches. You know what I mean. Anyways, she's busy giving him stitches. We then see this man on the beach lighting a cigarette. He is a masterpiece, alright? This man can do no wrong. That is a lie. He's gonna do a lot of things wrong, but he's gonna look good while doing it. He lights the cigarette, he then takes like a walk on the beach and almost immediately throws the cigarette away. That's very wasteful. We then see a little montage where pregnant Belle is standing with her feet in the ocean. Tiny is busy stacking some airplane food. We see this worm sitting on the beach, alright, looking out into the sunset. Diamond is trying to make a phone call. We see this man busy building a mush of fire, and then we see this guy who is sitting next to the fire. This guy goes over to this guy. He's like, what is your name? He says, my name is Charlie. He says, hello Charlie, how are you? Please will you help us build a fire? It needs to be nice and big so that the rescue people can see us. No problem. Of course, you can count on me. What's your name? Saeed. We have two more names, Charlie and Saeed. So they are busy making a fire. No problem, Saeed, you can count on me. Pink lady, pink shirt lady who was revived by Damon, but not really by Damon, actually by Jack, is sitting kissing her ring, like looking all sad and such. We are back in the forest where this lady is busy giving this guy stitches, and she's like, you don't seem afraid at all. I admire that. I'm freaking out. How are you so calm? He tells her a story of when he was a resident.
Let it do its thing, but only for 5 seconds. That's all I was going to give it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We love some context. So he's a doctor. That tracks. He's like, when I was a doctor, I did my first surgery and it was scary. And this girl had spinal fluid leaking out of her. It looked like pasta. I let the fear in, but then I counted to 5 and then I stopped being afraid. Now we are back on the beach. It's dark now, alright? There's a bunch of fires everywhere. It kind of looks nice. It looks like a nice camp. Like a nice camping business, you know, except for the plane crash part. We have this guy, Charlie, if you'll remember. He's busy writing on his finger bandages, F-A-T-E, fight. And then we have Saeed, and they are sitting there, and Saeed is like, I thought they would be coming by now. And he's like, who? And Saeed is like, anyone. Screaming Lady, you remember Screaming Lady? Ne? She's sitting on the beach and Diamond comes over bringing her a piece of chocolate. She's like, as if I'm gonna eat chocolate. He's like, we might be here for a while, Shannon. We have a name. Shannon. She's like, the plane had a black box, you idiot. They will know exactly where we are. I will eat on the rescue boat.
I'll eat on the rescue boat.
Okay, so Tiny comes over and he brings some food for pregnant Belle, which is very nice. We see this man again, the one who was yelling earlier today, you remember. He's sitting with a boy now, so I assume he found Walt.
Here, closer. I got you now.
That is what I'm assuming. We then meet this Korean couple, alright? They speak Korean. I know, shocking. This guy is busy telling this lady, you stay close to me. You follow me everywhere I go. We don't need other people. Just stay close to me. We then see our Dr. Jack. He's busy treating this man who looks like he's seen better days. He's lying over there. Jack is treating him. We see sewing lady asking, is he gonna be okay? Jack is like, why? Do you know him? She's like, no, I sat next to him on the airplane. They are busy having a conversation about, you know, the plane crash business. Sewing lady is like, yeah, plane crash. He is like, I passed out when the plane was crashing. She's like, I didn't. I was awake for the whole thing. I saw the back of the plane break off. I saw the front of the plane break off. And then the part of the plane that we saw on the beach that they were in is the middle of the plane. He is like, I want to go and look for the front of the plane because I want to find the cockpit, because then I can find a transceiver and we can use that to radio someone for help. She's like, oh, I saw smoke in the forest area, more inland. That might be the cockpit. And then she's like, if you're gonna look for it, I'm coming with you. And he's like, I don't even know your name. And she's like,
I'm Kate.
we have another name. It's Kate. We then suddenly hear this. And then we see like palm trees going like. What in the whale sound Jurassic Park horror movie business is that? We now get a small flashback of Jack when he was still in the airplane. The air hostess came up to him and she's like, how's your drink? And he's like, it's okay. And she's like, that's not a very strong response. And he's like,
Well, it's not a very strong drink.
and she gives him 2 tiny bottles of alcohol. He puts one in his pocket and the other one he downs. Now we know where the alcohol he used for the stitches came from. We love that. After downing his drink, Jack gets up. I'm assuming he wanted to go to the bathroom. I don't know. But then we see Charlie, before they knew each other or the crash or anything, ran past into the bathroom. So he was like, oh, okay. So he sat back down, and that's when we saw that this lady, the pink lady who was CPR, she was sitting next to him. There was the aisle between them, but she was sitting here. And she was like, oh, it looks like that guy wanted to go to the bathroom real quickly. They were having a little banter moment. And then there was turbulence, like very bad turbulence. And he's like, don't worry, it's normal. And she's like, yeah, I know. I'm just not a good flyer. And I'm like, you and me both. You and me both, pink shirt lady. Anyway, he's like, no, it's going to be okay. She's like, yeah, my husband always says the same thing. He keeps reminding me that planes wants to be in the air. And I'm like, what a pot of cock. Anyway, he's like, your husband sounds like a smart man. She says, okay, well, tell him when he gets back from the bathroom. The next fucking moment, turbulence, the plane is starting to go down. Oxygen masks are dropping there. He puts his on, he looks over and sees that she also put hers on, and then Jack passes out. I'm exhausted. We are now back on the beach. It's the next day. They are about to go and search for the cockpit. He says to Kate, Jack says to Kate, look, if you want to go hiking, you're going to need to get better shoes. She then goes and searches for better shoes. Hell no! That does not sound pleasant. As she's busy removing the shoes from the body, she looks over and she sees this one standing there looking at her. And the next moment, he does this. What? Don't be a weirdo, Wim. We now see a group of people sitting on the beach, you know, asking each other questions about the weird sounds that I heard yesterday. And then Tiny comes over and he's like, look, I was in the fuselage and it's not a pretty sight. What are we going to do about all of the #deceased bodies? We probably should do something about it. And Saeed is like, yes, that's a good idea. We should do something. But no, Mrs. I will eat on the rescue boat. She's like, no, why? They can handle it when they get here. Who's they? Who's they, madam? I don't know. Anyway, Jack comes over and he says to Diamond Salvatore, we are going to look for the cockpit so that we can find a transceiver, blah, blah, blah. I need you to look out for this guy who's busy lying there, please help him. And he tells him what to do, and he's like, sure, anything, no problem. Charlie is like, oh, I'll come with you. I'll come with you to the cockpit. He's like, you don't have to. He's like, I want to. Okay, great. And they set off, the three of them, set off on their walk to go and find the front of the plane. This is a lot of work. You guys better fucking like this video. You better put nice comments in the comment section because I'm out of breath. This took way longer than I expected. Alright, so these three are busy taking a hike. Hit the road, Jack. Won't go back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Alright, anyway, they are walking. Kate says to Charlie, you look familiar. Have we met before? Charlie is like, no, but I look familiar, right? And she's like, yeah, you do. And he's like, I think I know why. She's like, why? And he starts singing. He's like,
You all, everybody. You all, everybody.
Drive Shaft. That's us. Drive Shaft. She's like, you were in Drive Shaft. And he's like,
Yeah, the band.
You were in Drive Shaft.
I am in Drive Shaft. I play bass.
I am in Drive Shaft. I'm Charlie. I play the bass. She's like, oh my word, my friend Beth is gonna freak out. She loves you. He's like, give me her number. I will give her a call. Really, Charlie? How are you gonna give her? You can't even phone help. You can't even phone a rescue boat. How are you gonna phone Beth? He means well though. Anyway, so he's a famous like bass player in a band, and she's like, oh. And then Jack comes over and he's like, what the hell are you guys doing? And she's like, you know Drive Shaft. And again Charlie starts singing, you all, everybody, yeah. And he's like, guys, we need to keep moving. And they start moving further. Charlie just wants to make sure that everyone knows that Drive Shaft is still together. Anyway, this three is still busy doing their trek through the woods. We see the lab. That's not a Labrador, that's a lady. We see the Labrador again in the woods. We are back at the beach now. We see this one sitting on the beach still. Next moment, out of fucking nowhere, it starts to piss with rain, like it's raining. Everyone is rushing to find shelter except this one. He's soaking it in, quite literally. Some random person tries to find shelter next to the Korean couple, under their shelter. This man is not having it. He's talking to the guy in Korean. I don't understand Korean, and this part of the conversation doesn't have subtitles. The show just kind of, you know, there's certain times when they feel like you need to know what they're saying. Other times you might draw your own conclusions. Now, even though I don't speak Korean, I'm pretty sure he said, fuck off, frik. Hierdie is my tent. Hierdie is my vrou voetsak. That's what I'm assuming verbatim. It's like, go find your own, I'm not sharing my roof with you, fuck off. Next thing you know, the noise and the rustling of the palm trees is back. These three finally found the plane, but the plane, the front of the plane, is lying like so, with the nose up here. So they kind of have to do rock climbing in this plane to get to the cockpit with hashtag deceased people still safety belted to their seats. There's a point where Charlie needs to help himself upwards using a dead person's bene. It's a nightmare. It is a nightmare. They get to the top after a lot of climbing, and he uses something hard to hit the handle of the cockpit door. Hit. Finally it opens, and the co-pilot's body comes flying out. I had such a fright. Now they are in the cockpit, and the pilot, not the whiff pilot. What are they called? The main pilot. The main peanut in a pakkie. I don't know, the pilot, the head pilot. He is still in his seat like so. Next thing you know, he goes. He is alive. He's alive. They are all skriking their gat off. I don't know what I would do in this situation. Okay? I would probably punch the pilot in the face because I had a fright. Imagine surviving a plane crash and then being punched in the face because someone had a fright at your level of aliveness. That sounds like a terrible, terrible day in the office.
I'm gonna kill myself! Wow. I'm going to kill myself and it's your fault!
Alright, so the pilot is awake. I forgot to print a picture for him. So just imagine he's here with us and he's like, how many survived? And Jack is like, at least 48. And the pilot is like, how long has it been? Jack is like, 16 hours. The pilot is like, 16 hours. Oh my head, has anyone come for us? Jack is like, no. Them that 6 hours into their flight, their radio went out and they lost all communication. Nobody could see them. So they turned back so that they can go and land in Fiji. And then when the turbulence hit and they crashed, they were like 1,000 miles off course. So the rescue people are searching for them in the wrong place. Not only does this man talk about miles, like can we just all agree to use kilometers, but also he's coming with this cock news. Like, oh, they are searching for us 1,000 kilometers to 1,000 miles, whatever that means, in the wrong direction. This is horrible. Jack is suddenly like, where's Charlie? Kate is like, and she goes out to look for Charlie and he comes out of the bathroom, the first class bathroom. She's like, what the hell were you doing in there? And I'm like, that's a bit of a personal question. Miss Kate over here likes being nosy. I've picked up on that. He doesn't get a chance to answer about why he was in the bathroom because the next moment...
What? The hell was that?
It's right outside.
Okay, so the heavy darkness comes over the airplane and they are all just standing there all still trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. And then next thing you know, something grabs the pilot out of the plane, out of the windshield area. Is it called a windshield on an airplane? I don't know. But the pilot gets yanked out of the plane. And the next moment you just see a moerseklomp blood splattering the side of the airplane. Now you know that the airplane is like such, né? Next thing you know, it falls. With them inside of it. They then fucking run like their pants is on fire. They are running through the woods. They want to get away from this thing. This thing is chasing them. We don't know what this thing is. Is it a dinosaur? Is it a ghost? Is it a fucking transformer? I don't know. Nobody knows, but they are running. Charlie trips and falls. And Jack runs back to pick him up. Kate is running and she hides behind a tree. Now she's like, where the fuck is everybody? She is scared, hysterical, crying. She goes, Jack! Now she's like, oh my word, I need to relax. I can't be this afraid. And she then uses Jack's method and she starts counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She then leaves the tree where she was hiding, and as she turns around, she bumps into Charlie. She pushes him down and she is on top of him and she presses him down and she's like, where's Jack? He's like, I don't know. She's like, he's like, listen, I tripped, he helped me up, we were running away from that thing and we lost track of one another. She's like, did you see the thing? He's like, no, I didn't see it. She's like, we have to go back for Jack. He's like, do we really?
We have to go back for him.
Go back? There? Kate, there's a certain gargantuan quality about this thing.
She's like, you can stay if you want, and she... This thing that I'm busy doing right now isn't normal, is it? Is it? Whatever, she's like, I'm going to look for him, you can stay if you want, idiot, Lou said. And she walks off and he follows her, of course, and he's like, listen, I heard you calling out for Jack. I'm Charlie, by the way. It would be nice if someone cared if I live or die. As they are walking, they look down and they see in the water, in the muddy water, they see the pilot's bulky thing. You know that pin with the wings that the pilots wear? It's lying there in the water. And they also see the reflection of the trees above and an oddly human shape in the tree. And as they look up, they see that it's the body of the pilot. At this point, Jack comes out of the forest. Kate looks all sorts of relieved. They are like, oh, yeah. Did you see it? No, it was chasing me and then I jumped in the bushes. Guys, what type of thing can be responsible for that? And then we see a proper bird's eye view of the pilot's body in the trees. And he saying he has seen better days is a understatement. He's all bloodied and fucked up. And that is where the pilot episode of Lost ends. I'm exhausted. Also, I have a pain in my neck. Guys, all in all, this was a great experience. I'm very invested. Up until this point, I have watched the entire season 1. That is where I'm at the moment. Let me know if you would like me to do this about every episode. As you can see, it's not really planned out much. I've kind of been winging it. I'm just invested now and I wanted to share it with you guys. I have printed a lot of other things here, so let me know if you want to see me do more episodes of this series. And yeah, let me know if there's anything else you want to see. Also, don't do spoilers in my comment section. Don't be that guy. I already know that the ending pissed a lot of people off. I've known that for years because people have been talking about it for years. Also, based off of everything that I've seen, it does seem like it gets a little silly and cray-cray in later seasons. So I'm ready for that. But don't do spoilers in the comment section. I'm avoiding spoilers like the plague, which I already had. So I don't want it again. Alright, thank you for coming. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, comment down below. If you have nothing to say, just put a yellow heartkie and then I'll know you watched until the end. Alright. Chat again later. Okay, bye.